Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ninja Lounge. We have Crypto Comedy Club with us today for an AMA. Excited about this. Very unique project. Guys, Logan, I think if you want to take it away or whomever, welcome to Ninja Lounge, guys.
All right, yeah, I appreciate it. My name's Logan. We have two of our team members here. Dinsho, he's one of our VR devs. Say hi. Yep, that's him in VR. Teddy Bear guy. And then we also have Connecticut Crypto. He is our blockchain developer.
You can call me Dan. My name is Dan Hovey.
Dan Hovey. All right. Well, yeah. Connecticut Crypto. That's what we call him. Yeah, so like I said, there's 4 members on our team, 2 for the VR, 1 for the blockchain, and then, there's me. I'm more of the marketing and the talent acquisition type, stuff. Yeah, this is gonna be a very, very unique project. Like Connecticut was saying, there's a few little things popping up here and there that we've seen that seem to be some copycats that are real new since we've been talking about this with people, and they don't really have any following, and there's not really anything there and stuff. So this is really gonna be the first of its kind. It's gonna be fully virtual reality, immersive. Like, it's gonna be as realistic as possible to make this as enjoyable for the comedians as we can, because at the end of the day, that's the main focus. If the comedians like doing it, they'll do it more. And if the comedians are there, you'll have the audience. So, like I said, this is going to be something that's really going to be fun for people to be able to, enjoy stand-up comedy from anywhere in the world. Whether they don't have, a comedy scene there, they can't travel, restrictions, World War III, whatever. And then this is also going to be able to give those comedians, whether they're, big and famous already or whether they're still trying to make a name for themselves, they're going to be able to reach a whole new audience also worldwide. So I think this is going to be really beneficial for, both parties. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be something that's you're going to be able to go to, on those red days and go to have a laugh and everything. It's going to be a nice little getaway, I think.
Sounds good, Logan. Tell us about your team and your time involvement. Are they full-time, and your developer and all that, please?
Right. So I'll let each one of them kind of introduce themselves and tell you what they kind of do.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, me personally, I'm handling most of the marketing right now. I'm doing all the networking with comedians and stuff, trying to get some client lists going, get some things going up, finding out who's interested and whatnot. And I do most of the community work as of right now. So those are my main focuses.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I guess I'll go here. So I'm Dan, Connecticut Crypto. Yeah, so this is a cool project from a lot of different reasons. Obviously, with the start of the pandemic, a lot of comedians couldn't perform. And so in order to generate income, they had to kind of go to kind of different medias. I know a couple of them actually have been doing some podcasting and some stand-up from a platform called VR Chat, which is kind of a huge world of everything where you can, it's if you've ever done it, probably you shouldn't do it, but it's kind of a strange world. The idea of this is great, and from the contract side of it, that's unique, is there are no dev wallets, right? So there's not. That is something that a lot of times people are concerned with as investors. So me and the other 3 guys that are involved in this project, and we all have different roles. Logan is really the decision maker on this. This is kind of his baby, his idea. He's the one with the connections to actual comedians. He knows a lot of the stand-up guys. I've deployed some contracts over the last couple of years. And then we have the VR platform and the backend developer, which, of course, that's all we really need. Now, the coolest thing about this, I think, is that a lot of projects require money from the project to create their deliverable. So when we've all been frustrated in projects where it's like there has to be all this trading volume for them to, be able to buy the solar panels to put on the land and buy the land, and there's all this money that has to come in for them to ever actually release the deliverable. And if it takes too long, then investors get impatient and then they sell their bags, and now there's no money, and now there can never be a deliverable, project dies. Something that's super unique about this project is that the deliverable is going to happen. We don't need any money from holders to get there. We have the 4 people in place on this that we just can complete this task with or without everybody, right? The reason for this project is because we want it, you need people to watch a comedy show, right? So that's the unique thing I think about this, is that it's just a matter of time. In fact, most of our deliverable is, at least the kind of the base aspect of our deliverable is in an alpha stage already. Dencho can speak more to that. But our deliverable is going to happen. We don't need the trading volume to do it. So there's no way that this just ends, right? We're building all of that right now on a private server. So we haven't committed to anything in the metaverse yet, mainly because we don't know which place is going to win. We don't know which, is it Decentraland or whatever it is. But we'll be able to kind of uproot our comedy club and put it on whatever metaverse we think is the correct one for us in the future, if we want to do that, or it can just remain a private club. All of our contract, the way that it's written, all of our marketing dollars, all of the dollars, that are taxed, in the transactions, a 10% tax. The percentage that goes to marketing is all in BNB. It's not in native token. All the money that is taxed for, say, our talent wallet, which is going to help us book comedians, all of that is in BNB. It's not native, so we don't ever have to dump our project price to pay for things. And then the 4 of us, since there's active work being done, there's 0.75% tax for each of us to be paid for our ongoing work. So that's and even that is in BNB. So this is just going to run on its own, and it's going to be a fun place for people to be. And there's going to be some reflections as well, because down the road we're going to have NFTs that will be able to operate within the comedy club. So to make that more real, say you bought a tomato NFT, you'd be able to use that NFT to, say, throw at a comedian. So it's just super cool stuff. And you'll get reflections for holding, so you'll be able to buy in-game stuff, and that'll be fun for people. And we want it to be really approachable price for people just to have a good time. Dencho, you want to talk a little bit about your role in the kind of the VR space?
Yeah, we want to hear from the bear.
Yeah. Hi, I'm the bear. I'm kind of like the guy in the basement where they just tell me to make stuff and I make it. I've been a developer for about 10 years. I started doing VR about 5 years ago, so I know a lot about the VR. I mean, like VR is only 5 years old, really. But yeah, I make the fun stuff, and I'll be working directly with the comedians to make sure that they have all the tools they need, like a microphone or a mute gun to shoot audience members with, or lift them up and throw them out of the stage if they're being too annoying and stuff like that. Fun stuff.
That's awesome.
Awesome, guys. This sounds like a very fun project. So your core team, you guys are full-time on this project?
Yeah.
And your developer is in-house, and is the contract from scratch, or is it a fork of another contract?
It is probably a hybrid of both.
Okay.
I did reach out to somebody. There were some challenging things about this, trying to get everything in BNB. So I did have some help, someone I consulted. But besides that, it's from scratch.
Okay. And then your VR guy there, the bear, he has prior experience too in the VR field. So, and you can't disclose those projects necessarily, but he does have prior experience.
Both.
Yeah, we've actually been teaching him.
Yeah, both of ours do, and our other one that's not here right now, he currently works in the field for a company that, we can't disclose.
Okay. And then you're talking about you have capital already to create all of this. So at launch time, are you up and running? The utilities there ready to go?
No, sir. So our roadmap's on the website right now. We're looking to have the club open and running shows by mid to late summer.
Okay.
Because we're going to be doing a lot of beta testing and everything, making sure everything runs smoothly and whatnot. The cool part about that is, in the meantime, because Connecticut was saying earlier, you have that downtime, people lose interest. The way
Mm-hmm.
that we're going to be able the way that we're going to be able to keep the interest going with this, there's two ways. For one, any of the pre-sale or the private sale buyers are going to get to participate in the beta testing, so they're going to get to really be involved in it and get to see the progress that's being done and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun for them to be involved with that. And on
Mm-hmm.
top of that, we're also, being that it's a comedy club, when you book a comedian for a show, you usually book them months in advance. So once we are, sure of the exact date of when we're going to be able to do this and have it completely open, we're going to be able to start booking comedians ahead of time and adding them to our calendar and everything, which will
Mm-hmm.
show a lot of legitimacy to our holders.
Okay, gotcha. And when you say participation from your pre-sale and private sale holders, um, what kind of input are you talking about from those people?
Like if they have a virtual reality headset, they're going to be able to immerse into the project and actually get to be a part of all of the beta testing. They're going to, like I said, also the cool part about that is, like he was saying, like Connecticut was saying earlier, I do have some connections into the comedy world. We
Mm-hmm.
already have two comedians that are working with us on this. They gave us some permission to use some of their sets to make promo clips, and both of them are going to be working as consultants during the beta testing phase.
Mm-hmm.
So they will also be involved in the beta testing phase. So those people that are, from our holder side that are going to be doing the beta testing are
Mm-hmm.
going to get to meet and hang out with those two comedians as well behind the scenes as we're, testing all the product and making sure everything goes right, and,
Okay.
getting tips from the comedians and stuff to really try and make it, as friendly for them as possible.
So kind of like a backstage pass,
Pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah, and
we do have a backstage pass, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
yeah,
Right on.
yeah, and one thing I think probably to just clarify too is a lot of our users. So there's going to be downtime between shows with comedians, right? So we're going to have open mic for people. So we'll have open mic nights where holders can perform if they want to try out their talents on stage, a little bit of a safer environment, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Right
Yeah,
on. So
the open mic
go
nights are
ahead.
going to be fun too. Sorry to cut you off there, but
No.
yeah, the open mic nights are going to be a lot of fun too, because like you said, the community can participate in that, and they can try it out and they can have some fun with it. And then also it's going to give some incentive to actual open mic comedians to want to participate, because the audience is going to be able to vote on those nights. They're going to be able to vote for the best performance of the night, and the winner of the night gets a prize and stuff. So it'll give a lot of
Okay.
incentive for, people to want to participate.
Okay, good deal. So hit on a little bit here. One of the questions on here is, what's the main argument for investors to hold your token for a long period? So hit on that a little bit.
Right. So, I mean, the main argument that I think that really the only argument that I've actually heard that actually has some legitimate concern to it is, people that say that there's not enough comedian or, comedy fans in the crypto world, which, that's a legitimate concern. But we have a way that this is going to benefit our actual holders and still allow this to be reach a much wider audience. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever we're going to have a way for people to purchase a ticket on our website with fiat, and that a portion of those ticket sales are going to go into a separate wallet where we're going to be able to do buybacks and burns, which will, slowly lower the supply over the long term.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, as we're booking more and more comedians, the bigger the names, the more famous ones and stuff like that, the
Mm-hmm.
FOMO is really going to kick in, and that's when the price is really going to start jumping for those long-term holders.
And what do they mean when they say there's not comedy fans in the crypto space? We all need a good laugh on occasion, right?
I said that too, but I mean, I get it, because most people are in crypto specifically to make money. So
Mm-hmm.
if they're not being, if they can't see a way to make a, a 2 or 3x in a day, then they're not interested, so, and I
Sure.
get that,
Sure.
but for those people that don't want to hold, we're going to have different kind of holders. We're going to have the ones that are the true believers and see where this is going. They're the long-term holders. You're going to have your day traders, and then you're going to have the ones that only buy tokens when they want a ticket to a show, and that's
Mm-hmm.
totally fine too. We can accommodate all of those.
Sure.
But the ones that are going to get the most benefit from this are obviously the long-term holders.
Sure.
And think about this too, and I think that even if they aren't necessarily comedy fans, this is a chance to own a piece of a comedy club, right? Now it's not a physical one, so there's no overhead. But when we have comedians, people are going to be buying tickets to go to the shows, which is purchasing our token, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think investors will see value in that. And you're not going to want to sell your tokens if NFT prices are increasing with the cost of the token, right? And then if you want to buy NFTs to participate in things, you're going to need tokens. So to get rid of them is going to be a harder decision.
Right on. You've got it set up pretty good the way you're doing your wallets to where it's BNB coming into them, and sounds interesting. Where is your status of your audit on your contract?
So I'm trying to get that to. I'm going to be using Brew Labs for the audit. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Mm-hmm.
I've dealt with them in the past. It's a good group of guys over there. So I'm trying to get them a finalized contract. There's a couple. We did our first, or actually, I'm sorry, we did our third test this last weekend just to test the contract. And there's a couple things I'm still trying to work out on it. So I'm hoping by this weekend to have that over to audit, and then just make some final touches, be ready for pre-sale.
Okay, sounds good. So let's move into marketing, you guys. Tell us what you have going on, both prior to the launch and then, for the weeks after launch.
Right. So right now, we're doing pretty much all the basic stuff that you would do. We're doing a few call groups. I'm not trying to just overload and take every single call group that comes at me, because I do get about 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to fill it with a bunch of people that don't really give a crap about the project. So we're trying to focus mostly on like AMAs and stuff like that. We'll probably run some PooCoin ads or something prior to the launch, stuff like that, focusing on Twitter and stuff like that. So just the basics and everything for right now. Run some shilling contests and whatever. And then post launch, we're definitely gonna get try and get a few of the bigger calls, the good ones that actually do something, not just,
Mm-hmm.
5 people that join. Definitely going to be pushing out onto Twitter. We're definitely going to try and push out onto YouTube as well. And the cool thing about this is most crypto, when they go to market, you really only have one niche that you can go for, and that's the crypto people.
Mm-hmm.
This gives us the opportunity to not only, shill to the crypto world, but we can also target the virtual reality world, and we can also target the comedy world. So we have 3 different avenues that we can go through, which is going to allow us, much more opportunities and much easier forms of marketing, because it, like I said, you're only targeting one group when you're going for crypto. And there's a lot of people in crypto, but there's a lot more people in the world that are into, comedy and everything else. So we want to be able to target all of those. And the cool thing about our marketing that is really the thing that's going to help set this apart is the fact that whenever you book a comedian, they promote their own shows. So if you book a comedian and they start promoting their own shows, you're automatically getting free advertisement to all of their followers and their fan base already. They add it to their tour lists and everything like that. So, and that's just coming from our talent acquisition wallet. That's not even coming from the marketing wallet. So that's just a win-win for us when it comes to that.
Yeah, and another thing on that too is, so some of the comedians that are already in the VR space, using kind of the platforms that are available that are not crypto related, and the guys that we're talking to are part of the JRE, right? And I'm sure if we're booking someone that's involved in the Joe Rogan experience, the comedians that are appearing on that podcast, we're going to get some eyes on us just from that, and that's about the biggest platform in the world right now.
So an easy move for them to come over to what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're already doing it. They just don't have a platform for it. So they're kind of utilizing VR platforms that are not designed for that, and they're just doing them the best that they can with that audience. But this is an actual home for them. That's geared to them, because we think if we keep the comedians happy, it's going to make happy participants, right? People that are in the stands, they could hear good comedy, and these guys have experience of performing in VR, which is, not every comedian who's funny in the real world necessarily will translate directly into crypto. There are guys that have been performing in VR space for the last 2 years because of COVID.
Right on. Sounds good, guys. I mean, that's the marketing is interesting to me. I mean, definitely you have more than one audience, which is a good thing. Let's move into tokenomics. One of you guys want to cover the tokenomics for us?
Yeah, so the tokenomics on the total supply, the full breakdown, we're still working on a little bit, but I mean, there's only going to be a few of the breakdowns. I do believe it was a small percentage to private sale, pre-sale, liquidity, and then we're going to be locking the rest. That was all of it, correct? Connecticut, I'm not missing one. There was only 4.
Yeah, no, but he's talking about tokenomics, like the taxes, right?
Well,
yeah, taxes and liquidity lock and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so the taxes are going to be 10% on both buys and sells. We're not gonna fluctuate it randomly. We're not going to up it crazy at launch or anything like that. It's going to be 10%. It gets broken down into 2% to marketing, 2% to talent acquisition, 2% to liquidity, 1% to reflections, and then the 3% to the team and product and the product development. Because we'll, for one, we're working on it, and then for two, we'll be able to need to get more software and equipment and stuff like that in the future as we expand.
Okay.
And then as far as like
go ahead.
So as far as like the token distribution, so we haven't settled on that yet, mainly because I don't know I know you guys are always investing. We're seeing a lot of very solid ideas and projects not successfully launch right now because of how bad the markets have been the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
So we're trying to be careful about picking the wrong soft cap, hard cap, right? We don't want to have an issue where we just don't want to have a problem, because again, one of the beauties of this project is we don't need to raise a ton of money, right? We want to have a lot of money for a stable floor, but we're not counting on launch to be able to pay for anything. I got to give Logan a lot of credit here when he came to me with this idea, because we've been investing on projects in our own, Telegram groups, and I mean, it really is such a great idea. It's such a great idea. I give him a lot of credit. And as we've kind of been brainstorming on it, it's kind of a breath of fresh air, because it's such a good project that just doesn't need money. We have the talent, and it's just a matter of us working to finish it, right? We don't need capital to finish this. We'll want capital to make it better in the future, which it'll come. But as far as the breakdown, we don't really know the percentages yet. We're going to have some staking, which will be fun. I think people generally get in there, kind of helps keep people, especially in the beginning end. So we'll have a percentage of our tokens set aside for staking pools. We'll have some set aside that will be locked, that we are going to lock for 6 months or a year, because at some point we may bridge Ethereum as well. We haven't quite decided, but we don't want to burn that supply and not have access to it if we want to go into different exchanges or whatnot. So we're going to lock some of that stuff away for a little bit. And there's not going to be any set aside for, like I said earlier, dev. There's no dev wallets. There's nothing. Everything is going to be either pre-sale, liquidity, locked, or staking.
Okay. The staking you're talking about is going to be on your tokens. And when do you see that being available?
So probably pretty soon, because one of the other reasons why I'm going to be doing auditing again with Brew Labs is Brew Labs offers staking right through their platform.
Okay.
So you just have to provide them with some supply, which we'll have in the front end. So that can be almost immediate.
Okay, so that might be another good thing for this interim time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so another question that may come up is they're going to use the native token to buy tickets. The staked tokens won't be able to be used for purchasing tickets. Is that correct?
Yeah, if they're staked, they're set away. They're locked away, right? So
Got
you can't use those.
Got it. Okay, and then on the pre-sale and launch, do you have any bot measures planned?
So on the pre-sale side, it'll mainly be used whatever platform we use. That their bot measures. We're looking at Sphinx right now. I've been talking to a couple others. We have gotten other people approaching us that do want us to launch with them. So we're just kind of seeing which one we want to go with. But each one of those pre-sale platforms does have their own bot measures. But when it comes to launch, yeah, I'll let Connecticut go with that.
Yeah, so I'm kind of opposed to this line of thinking. I'm not messing around with tax at launch. I just think that creates more problems than it's worth. If bots want to flood and create a ton of volume at launch, like we'll be very upfront with people just to be ready and wary of that. But I just see too many issues with trying to prevent it. I don't know that it always works, and I feel like a lot of launches just get screwed up with people trying to predict this stuff, where you have actual holders getting ridiculous taxes on accident, and it's just a mess. Bots are going to happen. They're going to create a ton of volume, and buyers at this point should be aware of that, and we'll make sure that we're very vocal about it. But I'm not doing any weird taxes. It's just going to launch, and that's what it is, right? I'm not trying to confuse the issue here.
Gotcha. And then what about Max Wallet? Anything there?
I think it's
I don't think we set up a Max Wallet. We do have we're gonna have a threshold for the whale/VIP club, which is gonna get those backstage passes and stuff like that. But I don't think we're gonna have a Max Wallet set up.
No, I think Logan, I do think there's 2% Max Wallet size, or it's 1 or 2. I'll double check that.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you don't want to have people to have too much of the supply. So I'm pretty sure it's 1 or 2%. I'll double check that in the contract. I don't remember how I set that up initially.
And that's why I have you here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you want to do something. You don't want someone to have 8% of your supply, especially since the whole beauty of not having dev wallets is that no one controls any of the supply, right? The community really owns this project, and they own a comedy club.
Right. Sounds good, guys. Let's move to the pre-sale and what is your status right now? Is there still a private sale? Was there a private sale and things like that covering your private pre-sales?
Yeah, so we had a small private sale. We did decide to open it back up to let a few people in, because so basically we like you said, we don't really have to raise a lot, but we wanted to make sure we had an extra little push for right after and pre-launch and everything. So we decided to open it up a little bit because we had a lot of people asking. There's only about 8 B&B left of that's going to be available right now, and even if we don't sell that, it's not a problem. And then the pre-sale, like he said, we're still kind of playing it by ear on what we want to set that soft cap, hard cap at.
Okay. And then are any of the private or pre-sale tokens vested?
No.
Okay. And then, so you haven't decided your hard cap and stuff of your pre-sale. What about your min max? Have you decided on that?
Yeah, the minimum's 0.1 and the max is going to be 2 B&B, which is the max was also 2 B&B on the private sale.
Okay. And then you talked about Sphinx as one of the ones you're talking to. You're talking to a couple of others, so you're not positive yet on the launch pad.
Yeah, I'm not positive, but I mean, I'm really liking what Sphinx has to offer. They're cheaper. They have good they have a pretty good following. They've gotten some pretty big name projects recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how they don't dump on the chart like certain others do. I'm not going to trash names, but we all know
Mm-hmm.
who I'm talking about. So yeah, so like I said, I like the way that they do it better. They basically they do take a small percentage of the BNB raised, and they do take a small percentage of the supply like the others do, but they
Mm-hmm.
only hold it for 3 months, and then they give the option to either burn it or to give it back to the developers at no charge. So it's basically
Gotcha.
like having, a dead wallet kind of thing. So I
Okay.
like how they have it set up.
Do you guys have an idea yet of your initial market cap at launch?
It's really going to depend on, how much we raise and the price on BNB right now. It's way too early to be able to guess on
Gotcha.
Yeah, we
that.
haven't settled on hard caps yet, so it's kind of hard.
Right. Right.
What we think it's going to be. But I'll tell you, we're kind of trending towards smaller pre-sale than what people are probably accustomed to because we want a lot of buying pressure at launch. I feel like a lot of projects recently, and of course with the market not being very good, they're just squeaking the hard cap, and then there's nobody at launch that didn't get into pre-sale.
Right.
And I know that a lot of those projects are kind of stuck because again, they need a lot of capital to get their deliverable underway, and if they don't hit certain goals, their deliverable just won't happen in any reasonable time frame. So we have the advantage to where it doesn't matter. I think smaller, more exclusive pre-sale is going to probably work better for our project, and then a ton of buying pressure at launch, which we haven't seen in like 10 months, I feel.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Your private sale, there's still 8 BNB available, and then how do people obtain the access to that? And then your pre-sale, we have some whitelist spots to give away later. Is your pre-sale whitelist only or whitelist and public? How are you doing that?
Whitelist only. I mean, obviously, if it doesn't fill with the whitelist, then we will open it to public. But like you said, we're trying to avoid that altogether. So yeah, it will be whitelist only, and we're only giving out a max of 750. I'm not trying to give out 2,000 whitelists for, a
Mm-hmm.
small hard cap where that's
Mm-hmm.
it's not exclusive. So yeah, we're doing that now. If somebody is interested, they can DM me directly after the AMA, and I'll ask them a couple questions, and then we can go from there on the private sale. But I am being very picky on who we let into the private sale
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, it's not vested. They are getting 40% more than pre-sale,
Mm-hmm.
and we're really only trying to let in people that actually know what we're doing and like this project, not people that are just wanting a quick flip.
Okay. So those who don't win a whitelist spot today, what are the other ways to get a whitelist spot?
We have a sweep widget going on as well. We're going to be doing giveaways in multiple AMAs. We're going to be giving them out in chilling contests and different contests and stuff in the Telegram. We're really going to ramp up the Telegram and stuff, get it much more, popping, much more active and stuff, getting close to pre-sale. It's still early right now.
Okay, so several ways for people to obtain a whitelist spot still. What is your dates on your pre-sale and launch? Do you have that set in stone yet?
Yeah, so right now we're looking at the pre-sale is going to be on the 31st of March, and the launch is going to be on April 1st.
April Fool's Day.
April
Come
Fool's
on.
Day.
Did that not work out perfectly?
How else would you do a comedy club launch,
You know what
right?
I'm saying? Yeah.
Good deal. So people who are interested in the project, where can they learn more about your project, guys?
I would definitely suggest that they head over to our Telegram. We've got all the links to our socials, our website, and everything there. We have we pinned every AMA we've done. This is probably going to be the 6th recorded one that's in our pins already, and we have more scheduled still. So yeah, that's probably your best bet is to go straight to the Telegram, go straight to the source.
Gotcha. So before I open it up to Q&A, anything else any of you guys would like to add?
Yeah, I got one thing real quick. We touched. He hinted at it a little bit. when he was talking about the comedians that we're talking to and stuff like that. I'll go. I mean, I can. The two guys that we're talking to, one's name is Hans Kim, and the other one's name is David Lucas. And if you haven't heard of these guys, I definitely suggest you do look them up. They are both up and comers, and they're on fire right now. Both of them are regulars on the Kill Tony podcast, which is the #1 comedy podcast there is. Both of these guys have been mentioned and highly recommended multiple times on the Joe Rogan podcast by Joe Rogan himself. They both open for all the big names like Joe Rogan, Ron White, Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., Burt Kreischer, literally all the biggest names in comedy in the United States right now. These guys are connected with them. So all we have to do is make this where they're enjoying it, they're happy, they're having fun, they're making money. And it's literally only a matter of time before we start getting some of those bigger names. Like he said, these shows are going to happen regardless, no matter what. And in my eyes, it's only a matter of time before we get those big names. And when we get those big names, it's over. It's going to be wildfire at that point.
Right on. So you guys have a good vision. I'm liking what I'm hearing. Let's open it up for Q&A, guys. Anybody in our group here have any questions at all for these guys? Let's burn them up with some questions. What's up?
For the bear.
We have Jerry. Jerry, what's up, brother?
Hey, Crypto, how you doing?
Good.
Hi, guys. Enjoying your presentation. I'm wondering, as somebody new to the VR world, are these comedians doing anything visual or three-dimensional, or are they just standing there in front of a microphone doing their act?
It'll be much like the bear you see below us. Well, they won't be bears, but...
Yeah,
their mouth will move to the audio, fingers, all that.
Actually, you're working. Did you ever solve the jumping problem, Dencho?
Oh yeah, that was easy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they'll be able to move and function, jump. Like we have finger tracking, which is like apparently a big deal in the VR world. I know nothing about that. But yeah, they're going to be super interactive, and we'll be getting further down the road with avatars. I mean, Densha, I know that we're talking down the road of being able to map faces, and what's the more realistic explanation on that?
Yeah, supposedly Oculus is coming out with a new facial and eye tracking HMD head device that's supposed to work with VR and AR at the same time. So, as soon as companies like Oculus start releasing that stuff, I'll get my grubby little hands on it. I'll be able to implement it super easy. I don't mean to brag, but finger tracking is still kind of new, but we got that hands down with a full body avatar too. Obviously, what you see right now, disclaimer, this isn't our project. Just know it's going to look a lot better than this.
So props and things.
Jerry, actually, that kind of something we didn't mention that made your question made me think of this. So another question people might have is, what if I don't have a VR headset, right? There's only 1% adoption, I think, right now. It's growing quickly. So we're building in, or we've already built in. Dencho can confirm where he is on that. I don't follow his GitHub because it's ridiculous, and he's very, very proud of it. But we'll have it to where you can use your iPhone, an Android phone, and you can use it as a 360 viewer. So you don't even have to own a VR headset to participate. Obviously, for the best experience, you're going to want a VR headset, which of course have come down in price immensely. You can get a Oculus or a Meta, whatever they call it now, for $300, and you don't need a PC to run it. So, but anyone with an iPhone or an Android phone will be able to participate.
Even with just a browser.
Oh yeah, it's browser, right?
Yeah, we're going to be supporting WebGL, as painful as that will be.
So that means you can watch it on a desktop or a laptop as well as a mobile.
Yes.
Even a smart TV.
Nice. Well, that sounds exciting.
Yes, sir.
Because that was one of the problems we ran into. It's not everyone has VR headsets, so how do we get around that issue? So we're trying to solve problems before anyone else mentions them.
Right on. Thanks, Jerry. Good questions, brother. All right. Anyone else? Let's see some hands, or some of you are unmuted, so you can just simply unmute and ask your questions.
I have a question.
Norma, go ahead.
Yeah, do you plan any other languages for this as well, or it will be only English?
Oh, no, that's a great question. And no, so to start out with, I mean, yeah, we're definitely going to be mostly in English just because that is what we all speak and that is where we are located. But the whole goal of this is to make this worldwide. Like, we do want this to be international. I want us to have multiple different nights, with different languages, with people from different parts of the world. I really want this to be an international thing, because I mean, I've heard some comedy from across seas, that I've never would have heard before, through YouTube or something. And it's already great getting to hear their perspectives and stuff like that, and to get to hear the type of humor that they have, especially when they start talking about America, because I find it hilarious. It's always great when, you hear other people. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's always fun. Because I mean, that's what comedy is. You're supposed to poke fun at each other. You're supposed to, have a good time. You're supposed to, it's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to bring people together. And I mean, laughter is the best medicine, is what they say. So, what better way to do that than, get the worldwide adoption that crypto already has. So I think this is going to really be something that's, so unique when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Go ahead, Joe.
Okay. As we get more popular too, right? As we get more support, we'll be able to shell out for real-time translation services that live in the cloud, like Google, for example. So it's like, think real-time subtitles for whoever you're looking at, kind of deal,
Which is pretty crazy, right? And the other thing too is, because we don't have the limitations of a brick and mortar or a physical building, as we get bigger and bigger, we can have multiple shows going on at the same time. We're thinking that we're going to have an auditorium we have an auditorium already for our comedy club, but the big vision is to be able to walk out of the auditorium. There'd be a bar area. There's an area where you can physically, or you can virtually, I guess, walk up to and purchase NFTs from an NFT store and see the things that you're buying. You can go to, say, an ATM that's in the lobby of the comedy club, and then purchase the token from the ATM in the virtual space, right? Like, there's really no limit to what we can do. It's just our own creativity, and we have a guy that's a bear right now. So,
yeah, and we want. Let me push on that just a little bit more, because like he was saying, we want to have it to where there's like you said, you walk out of that auditorium and you go into the lobby. We want to have like mini games and stuff set up in there, so you can kind of hang out with your friends and stuff in between shows and play some mini games and stuff. But we also want to do different rooms, because there's the small bar type feel for those people that are just trying to do the late night thing, trying to work out some material. We want to have it where we can have some, improv comedy, like Whose Line Is It Anyway? We could do some sketch comedy for those people that are, the YouTubers and the Twitch streamers and all that stuff. They could do some, some skits in VR and everything. We could do that, kind of like a Saturday Night Live or something like that. So there's a bunch of different kind of comedies, different aspects. And there's even musical comedy. Some of my favorite comedy is music, like Bo Burnham or Stephen Lynch or Weird Al Yankovic or something, so there's a bunch of different things that we can do, going forward.
Thanks. It's actually amazing how cool you answer on a very simple question. I really love it, and it's one of the rare AMAs when I don't have a list of questions. So amazing.
Thank you.
Just some practicality. So I didn't find the white paper anywhere. Are you planning to launch it before pre-sale somewhere?
Yeah, we'll definitely have the contract, the audit, and the white paper all released before pre-sale. That way everyone can, review everything and, have the utmost confidence before they invest. I personally
writing contracts is an ugly business.
Yeah. So like I said, we're trying to approach this as holders too, because we're all investors, you know. So like we're trying to set it up where the things that we would want to see in a project are there. You know what I mean? That way everyone can be happy.
Well, some of our devs have no idea what crypto is, so they're learning that.
Densho. Yeah, Densho.
Yeah, Densho
he's
this is
very
his
new.
first. Yeah, Densho has never done crypto before.
I'm just
He's
a bear.
does VR.
Yeah.
He's just a bear. He's a sad bear with a beard.
Yeah, that's amazing. I actually like the projects which think about how to incorporate crypto with the real life, and I'm just thinking as an idea. I'm not sure if you have discussed that, but for example, one thing is to make the ink of those who understand crypto and buy the token to participate. But do you think there might be also some alternative for people who actually want to participate in these shows, but they are so much afraid of crypto that they are not touching it, and that they could actually somehow buy the tickets with fiat as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how it's going to appear to them, though. They're going to be buying tickets with fiat, and there's going to be a back-end transaction for the token. It's so different than like when, and I think the way to, and I don't know if you're familiar with the franchise in the States called Chuck E. Cheese. If you aren't, don't ever go there. It's disgusting, but it's like it's a place where you bring your kids and they have games and pizza and they have creepy mice that run around.
I love Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, I do too, but don't go there. So when you go there, right, you have to take your fiat and you have to buy their tokens to have access to the games, right? So I think that if we're doing it in that regard, I think that's a little bit more. I think it's easier to swallow for people. You're just, in order to play in our world, I think Dave and Buster's is the same way. I think you have to have their currency to play their games, right? So this is no different. And if you're able to just spend your money for your fiat, and there's a back-end transaction that adds value to the token for our holders, then everyone wins. And the scariness of the crypto is kind of taken away.
Cool. That's really cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks. They're great questions.
Our lady from Europe. Thanks, Paroma. Anyone else? Come on, guys and girls. Any questions at all? Let's have them. We got them here.
Uncle Gus.
Uncle Gus. My favorite guy in the whole world. What's up, Gus?
Wow.
How are my cousins?
Hey, doing well. Hey, guys, I love your project. I love what you're doing here. David Lucas, he's a great guy. I actually follow him on Instagram. So nice. You guys definitely have some big people going. You talked a little bit about setting up your own platform and creating it. And it sounds like you're really doing a good job on what you want to build with your auditorium and other things. Is it something that you want to continue building out as kind of your own metaverse that you want to develop on? Because you also mentioned watching and seeing what develops in the ones that are being established, like Sandbox and others. And would you be able to put yours over, like import it over into one of those? If you build up something really nice, do you have to leave it, or can you import it? Or if things work out, would you just keep building your own world?
I think the idea would be to import it, right? And honestly, I'll tell you, our idea and our kind of big picture on this is get the talent coming to our project. So we're the place where comedians go. I think that, and this is probably a couple or a few years out, right? 4 or 5 years before any decision on that has to be made. But at that point, there's going to be metaverses that have really won the war of that. And I really think that because we have the talent coming to our project, we're going to be asked to bring our project to there, which we'll be able to then just implant into wherever they are. So now people can just be in that metaverse world and then just see our comedy club, the exterior of it, and say, yeah, I'm going to go in there. It looks like someone's performing tonight. And now we're getting investors that were just in that metaverse, right? I don't think Densho has any plan on making our own metaverse.
He dropped the mic.
No. Making our own metaverse
so
would require a huge team.
Yeah, I don't think that's in the cards for us, but I think that we'll get picked up, is my thought.
But it would be really simple to say, put a door up that leads to the main metaverse that we are part of, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like you were saying,
yeah, that sounds like a good way, like you said.
Yeah, no,
Say
yeah,
again?
sorry, but so like he was saying, like you know, when we're having the talent come to us, I have a feeling that those guys are going to be coming to us trying to get us to use their platform specifically to set themselves above the competition. Because as of right now, I mean, they pretty much all have all the same stuff, you know, so this is so different and unique. I have a feeling that they are going to be requesting us pretty heavily. Especially when you think of, you know, some of these projects. I'm sure we all know of, you know, different ones where they'll pay, you know, $1 million for, you know, to get a tweet for, you know, from, you know, Jake Paul or Floyd Mayweather or some stupid crap like that, literally paying $1 million for a tweet, when we can go and pay, you know, $20,000 and hire one of the most famous comedians there is and get, you know, just as much clout, if not more, you know,
More,
because yeah, because I mean, the people, like, there's only a certain amount of people that are going to follow Jake Paul's crypto advice, and those people are sheep. We're not looking for sheep. You know what I mean? So, like I said, this is going to be so. This is it's just so different. You know, the marketing is just so different because we're not paying them to promote us. We're paying them to perform and do what they do for a living.
Yeah.
Well, you guys
Yeah.
are starting off with good talent connections already, and ultimately this is going to come down to talent, because you can build the best platform and everything else, but if you're just starting off with raw unknown talent, nobody's going to come. You guys are coming with guys who are literally connected to the biggest names and the most exposure. You know, when you're talking Joe Rogan exposure,
Yeah.
you know, you guys are going to be able to keep drawing in more talent and then build this up. So the people that are invested early with the tokens, that's going to keep growing. So as these names come in, you know, obviously you're going to have you pull in a bigger name, it's a higher ticket price. So there's going to be more tokens purchased. So you're going to create value for the original holders, it sounds, by how this develops.
Absolutely, and I'm so happy. I'm so glad that you know who David Lucas is, because you get it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of people, they're just like, oh, that's just some random name. You know, I don't really know who that is, but and yeah, he's not the biggest, most famous, but he's such a good talent, and he's such a good up and comer that's surrounded by all the right people that it's perfect for us. Like, he's a perfect fit.
Yeah, the guy gets
And
Joe Rogan will make comments on his Instagram. He'll like his things that he puts on Instagram. So, you know, and he's on his show, he's on these other shows and stuff. So that's where I see you guys are really starting off in a great place, is starting with good talent that's connected to more talent and building in. And once you get that platform moving forward, that inertia will just pick up, and this thing has so much good potential.
you know, and comedians are really great to each other, right? It's such a, when you talk about people in entertainment, you don't see actors or musicians that are necessarily, they don't really always have each other's backs, right? Comedians are a completely different group of people. They're all very, very tightly woven together. They understand how difficult of an occupation it is. They've all been on stage and bombed, and they can always, even if another guy bombs, they feel bad for them because they've been there. So I think comedians just happen to be this really great source where you book one guy, eventually he's going to be on a popular, like Joe Rogan is a comedian, right? He was a stand-up comedian before his days in the UFC and all that stuff. So he's always going to have that. And, you know, you think of the biggest voice talents in the world in the last 30 years, what, Howard Stern and Joe Rogan, right? And those guys have comedians all the time on their platforms because they are comedy themselves.
Thank you, Uncle Gus. We have Dr. M. Dr. M.
Ooh, physician.
Hey there.
There you go. How you doing, man?
Good. And good to see you guys. I know we talked a little bit in the Telegram, but I'm glad you guys made it out. And I'm excited for this. I listen to Rogan, and I used to do stand-up with my buddies. And
nice.
I'm also, I'm also checking out, you know, metaverses and stuff. And yeah, I mean, Decentraland is kind of like a wasteland right now. It's just like, you know, empty stores and stuff. Sandbox hasn't even started yet. There's a couple, like there's one called NFT World that's off Minecraft that's building on right now, but most of them are really just ghost towns right now with a lot of expensive price tags on them at all.
Right, because Snoop bought property, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you got to spend $1 million to get property next to him.
Yeah, and
I don't know
check
that.
out Go ahead.
I was gonna say, that's why we're waiting. It especially since we're going to be the comedy club, right? We'll be our plan is to be the first successful comedy club. There'll be successful music venues, I'm sure, but I don't know that they've even started yet. I don't know that we're definitely early in this world where it's a real metaverse value added project. So we'll be one of the early guys, and I'm sure there'll be other, industries that are in development now that, it takes getting the right people together, and somehow we did that.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
I mean, VR chat, I love.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
It can be hard to, run a business on there, I guess.
It's just
you might check out NFT Worlds. It's an interesting concept, but I mean, Bored Ape Yacht Club is going to start their own metaverse now, so it's like everybody's getting their toes in.
Yeah, I think they'll come find us.
Yeah, but I do have one question, just for those people who are more investment minded and less comedy minded. Is like, what's going to be the upward pressure, or like what's going to be making green candles on the chart? Is it going to be mostly people from the outside coming in and buying through fiat, you think? Or you think, is there some benefit to holding that you see that is going to keep people kind of locked in, or what?
Right. So, I mean, I'll touch on a little bit, and you can, fill in anything I don't get Connecticut. But yeah. So, I mean, you're gonna have multiple ways. For one, you're gonna have the reflections over the long term. So as there's volume, you'll probably end up getting enough reflection to, just keep buying tickets where you're not having to actually sell anything of your actual, original investment. You're gonna have the staking that's available, so that's gonna be something that that people can do. And then, like we were saying, the club is definitely going to open. We are definitely going to run shows 100%. There is nothing that's going to stop us from doing that. The thing is, to me, it's only a matter of time before we get those big names and get that recognition that I'm almost positive we're going to get. I can't guarantee anything, obviously, because you never know. But I don't see it going any other way for us. And like I said, it's only a matter of time before we get those bigger names. And when we start getting more talented people, that FOMO is going to kick in. The price is going to go up, and that's when you're going to see all those green candles, because people are going to realize that, oh, God, shit, these guys are no joke. Like, they're for real. They're actually hiring, famous people that I know, like, and they're wanting to go worldwide with this, and all that good stuff. And then on top of that, you're going to have the people that are going to be able to buy in fiat. And yeah, we'll probably, we very well may sell more tickets in fiat than we do with our native token from the holders. But because it's still going to be ran through the token, it benefits the holders because it still runs through the taxes, and we're still going to be able to do, a percentage of those fiat tickets, we can do with buybacks and burns, lowering the supply, like I said, over time. And when we do any buybacks and burns, we're not going to be doing it in giant chunks. We're not going to be announcing when we do it to create, a giant candle for people to want to sell on. It's not going to be any artificial pumps like that. Like I said, this isn't a meme coin. This isn't, a shit coin that we're just trying to pump and dump, or, overhype for, no freaking reason or anything. Like I said, this is a real project. It's going to have real use, and it's going to happen. So, like I said, that's my answer. It's only a matter of time, really.
Yeah, I think it's a great question, right? Because it is something that we had to tackle on early. Like, why? So this is a really great project. It's a cool, deliverable, but why? Where does it make sense from an investment standpoint? So here's the thing, right? I think a lot of projects fail because they never get to their deliverable, where you have to hold the token to get access to the deliverable. So here we're going to have something where within the first few months of this project, I mean, very, very early after launch, you're going to have to hold tokens to have access to the deliverable. We have a really cool deliverable. So there are projects that we all hold that we believe from an investment standpoint, but there's no real value in holding them outside of them increasing in value, right? And if we think that they're going to drop in value, we sell them, right? And then if we think they're going to go up, we buy them. But there's no other real reason of why we would hold those tokens. This actually has built into it a very strong reason of why you're going to hold, because if you don't hold it, you don't have access to this world that we've created that is you're able to interact with. And for example, say we book a comedian, right? And you love comedy, so you're into it for that reason. You know that you're going to have to, I don't think Logan touched on this yet, but if you hold a certain number of tokens, and you're considered, in a whale club, we'll have a different name for it. I don't necessarily love that, but you're going to have access to actually meet the comedian one-on-one in a backstage area. That's going to get people to buy and hold, and people trying to get to that tier to be able to participate in that, because that's really cool. I mean, it's not as cool as meeting them, I'd say in person, but you're going to be able to actually interact with comedians that you like, and every comedian should be fine with it because it's entirely safe. It's not like you're a crazy person with a knife, right? It's virtual reality. You can have a virtual reality knife, I guess, but I think that the very fact that our deliverable is going to happen and quickly, and you're going to need to have tokens to participate, that's going to keep people doing it. And as we create tiers of what holdings X number will allow you to do, that's going to buy pressure to continually get up to those tiers and be worried that the price of the token is going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to ever afford that tier, right? But there's a lot of incentive not to sell because you want to actually use the platform.
Right on. And do you think like there's a benefit to have this as crypto? Like, I don't know, this might be kind of off base, but like I'm looking into gaming and NFTs and stuff, and there's a lot of gamers that like will shut that shit down like right away. Like there was a big project that started trying to do NFTs and they only sold like a dozen of them, like a real gaming company and stuff. So just wondering your thoughts on crypto and comedy and how that kind of people think.
Well, we need money, right, to book talent. So there has to be some type of currency, and we'd rather do cryptocurrency, right?
That, and I think this is going to go well for a couple different reasons. Because for one, because we want to make this international and have shows in different languages, comedians from all over the world. It allows it to be in crypto payments. That's something that's accessible to everyone around the world. If we only had it in dollars and stuff, it would make it a lot harder for people from overseas to participate. It'd make it harder to pay people from overseas to perform. So it makes it a whole lot easier when it comes to that. And I really think that the two industries are going to like each other, especially if you think about like the power of shilling when it comes to the crypto world. Nobody can shill and blow up Twitter like crypto people. Like nobody can. And I think the comedians are really going to enjoy having that extra social media presence and stuff, helping promote the shows that we book with them and stuff like that. Because all it's going to do is grow their audience and grow their fan base. And like I said, for the crypto holders, like I said, you're going to get, there's a lot of people that know a lot of famous comedians from all over the world. Like I know a bunch from the UK. I know a bunch of people know a bunch of the famous ones from the United States. And like he was saying, if you have a chance to get to see them perform live or even meet them backstage, I don't know about you, but I would kill for a phone call. Just a phone call with some of my favorite comedians. I'd be freaking pissing my pants. But to actually get to interact with and talk with them in real life that's as close as you can get to real life. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, good answer. Thanks a lot. And,
thanks, bud.
I look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks, Doctor. Good conversation there, guys. Anyone else before we close up here? Any other questions? Raise your hand or unmute yourself, guys.
It's like Dencho has a question.
Is it Dencho? Okay, yeah.
What's your question?
No, I don't have a question. I was saying raise your hand.
Just stretching. In fact, you can tell he's not in crypto because he picked a bear, which is probably the worst thought in crypto. Right. You should have picked a bull.
Should have went with the bull. Should have went with the bull.
Yeah, but we've been drinking. He's been drinking syrup the whole time, guys. He's
point.
on top of the world.
It's heavy stuff, dude. It's original.
Got a bit of a sugar high, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We have T. Harrison in the house. Let's hear what T. Harrison's got for us. Go ahead, T.
Crypto Wizard, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Good to see you.
Good presentation, man. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I was trying to see. I think today or something, I saw someone looking at a post in the group. Do you guys still have the private sales open?
We touched on that a little bit earlier. There's a very small bit that we are allowing for a select few people that want to come in. So if you are interested, just send me a DM after this AMA, and I'll talk to you more about it.
Okay, cool. I sent you a DM already.
All right, bud.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
T don't mess around. T don't mess around. He's on it.
That's
appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, T. Good to have you in here, brother. All right, guys, we have some whitelist spots that we're going to give away. We're going to do a wheel spin. We're going to have you guys go over to their Telegram, say something nice about Ninja Lounge. We'll collect the names and spin the wheel about 3:30. We have another question, though. Mozzie Mike, if I said that right. Mozzie Mike, let's hear it, brother.
Oh, he's from our group. What's up, Mozzie?
Hey, man, I'm good. I'm just here out supporting Logan and team. I've been in the community for a while now. I joined from an AMA, and it's been an awesome one day. I'm looking forward to the project, and I'm just here supporting my man Logan.
Right on, good deal.
Bear gets funky, man.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you for sure. Guys, before I stop the recording, you guys want to add any comments or statements at all? Go right ahead.
You got anything, Crypto?
I mean, Dencho just did a backflip. We're not going to talk about that, or
I saw that.
Can we do that again? I mean, he's really got some moves there. Honestly, no. We're just really excited about this. We've all been doing crypto for a while together, investing. I don't know if we talked about that really, but me and Logan have been in an investment group together. And he came up with this idea and brought it to me and said, "Hey, do you think you could to write this?" And I said, "Listen, I'm going to give it my damnedest." And then we ran into these other two knuckleheads, and it's such a great idea. And listen, our private sale, the devs have contributed to the private sale because we believe in this, right? We're just super excited about this whole thing, and I'd say April 1st can't come fast enough, but man. It's okay.
I've actually put the most money into this out of anybody, and it's not even into the private sale. Like, I haven't even bought any of my own tokens yet. Just pointing that out for you guys. Yeah, we're definitely invested and looking to make this, a successful project.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I got 2 BNB worth. Woo!
And you guys please check on Dencho after this and make sure he doesn't need some detoxing or something. Oh gosh, there's the backflip again.
Yeah, we had to actually teach him. We had to teach him how to buy BNB so that he could actually invest in our project.
Awesome.
You said you wouldn't tell people that.
No, sorry. We kept sending us the non-smart. I was trying to build it out in the contract, and he's sending me the wrong, BNB wallet.
Sure.
Non. Finance smart chain, but yeah, it's been cool, man.
To be fair to Dencho, like Connecticut said, you go look at his GitHub, which tracks all his. If you are into any technical stuff like that, I guarantee you Dencho would love to show you his GitHub and all of his progress and the stuff that he's doing. If you know that technical mumbo jumbo, by all means, send him a message.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know what he's doing.
Hopefully that GitHub's available in your guys' Telegram. Sounds like it'd be cool to have a look at anyway.
Yeah, in fact, that's another thing we're doing. He was very excited about this, but we have this like GitHub bot, right, that will update as things in GitHub are accomplished. That will happen in our main Telegram thing, which we were kind of like, no one's going to care, but I guess they probably would because it's stuff that's happening, right? And I guess we probably don't give enough credit to that.
Yeah, there are those out there that'll be all over it for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I'm going to stop the recording.